But
I
yeah,
see
no,
that.
going back to what you were saying on Elon's comp, yeah, hopefully now it's just a matter of days, if not a couple weeks, that we actually get some details on what his comp package would actually look like. So
Yeah, I don't I see it happening really soon. There's no point in not talking about it now that they already. I feel like because again, Elon has said the whole abundance thing multiple times
yeah,
prior,
yeah,
and now Tesla officially said it, which is always one of those things where it's like I believe Elon. It's just more of until Tesla says it themselves, then then we can set it in stone because
exactly.
it's not set in stone until the company says it itself. The CEO can say a lot of things and claim a lot of things, and Elon has. I would never bet against Elon, but the fact is that once Tesla says it, it does like it executes a lot faster. Like once
Yeah,
the people inside Tesla do it, it means that it's right there. So I
yeah,
do feel that it's one of those things where Elon is talking about the future, so just listen to what he's saying, and then once it's so funny because it comes in like this wave. So I feel like the people who really hardcore invest because of what Elon is and who he is and what he says, and then it's the non-believers who start putting money in once Tesla says it,
yeah,
and then like the hedge funds and like all the bigger corporations that buy stock, they end up buying like once it's a little late, and like we've already kind of like piled in and we're just waiting for it to like blow up.
yeah.
So I do think it goes in that order. So we're right there at the right before
Yep.
the crazy explosion of that, especially once they announced Elon's compensation package. I looked at over at my brother-in-law and I was like, oh, it's happening now. I just have to wait.
Yeah. No, it's just a matter of execution, right? And I think one thing that, and Elon says a ton of things, right? Very outlandish things that folks will kind of just scoff at. But a lot of them, yeah, you maybe not take it at face value, but you do kind of see where Elon's head is at. And a lot of you look back, or you look at today and look back 10 to 15 to 20 years ago and whatever Elon has said back then, it's like, dude, he kind of nailed it. And going back to what he says is sometimes I'm just, I'm making the impossible merely late, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's what literally Tesla is doing. They're
yeah,
creating what's been impossible thus far for humanity. And
yeah.
and you can't really benchmark anything. You can't set timelines. One of the things that really gets under my skin is when, a CNBC or whoever says that Elon promised full self-driving or autonomy or robotaxis, 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
He never said the word promise. He never typed it. And it just gets under my skin how they just miscue. I don't know. I can't think
Mis-
right now, but
yeah. Miscommunicate what they're
misconstrue.
what yeah, misconstrued. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah, that's the word I was thinking of. They just totally misconstrue everything he says, and it's like, dude, it's literally right there. Just read the words, and I'm like, dude, it's I don't know. It
Well,
really,
he said the Tesla diner thing like years ago, what, 3 or something, 4?
yeah.
And everyone thought it was like a troll. And I honestly was like, I can't wait for that to happen. And when
Oh, for
it
sure.
happened so fast because it happened like almost out of nowhere. I feel like the Tesla community didn't really talk about it too much on socials.
Yeah,
Like there wasn't like a leak about, oh, Tesla diner opening soon, or look, this is the building they're constructing. I heard like they bought a plot of land and that was it.
yeah,
And I didn't
yeah,
hear
yeah.
anything for a while. And then boom, like it all kind of just happened really fast.
Yep.
And I love the fact that I love the fact that that happens so often, like with Tesla and Elon. Like it does, like he'll say something, it won't happen for a long time, and especially to the CNBC people, it's like, oh, it happened already, and it's like, yeah, no, duh, we've been watching
Yeah,
this for a while. Like,
yeah.
where have you been? And there was like a
Seriously.
meme. There was like a meme where there was like a meme, and it was like, how many people hate Tesla, and it's like a crowd of people just waving their hands up in the air, and then it's like, how many people have driven in a Tesla, and then everyone just goes, like, it's like, yeah.
That's not true.
How do you hate something you've never even tried before? Like you don't even know. Like
Yeah.
your preconception of one, whoever's around you and influencing your thought and like the process of your thoughts,
Yep.
that sucks for you that you're falling into something. Like I will always try something 3 to 4 times, even
Yeah.
if I dislike it. Like I'll literally I'll eat in front of people and I'll try something and I'll go, oh, that's nasty. And then I'll try it again. I'm like, yeah, it's still nasty. And then I'll try it one more time. I was like, I'll try it in a year from now. Maybe my taste buds will change.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But that's literally how I feel about every sense of technology or when FSD came out. And it just, I remember there was like this wide road and the car just kept doing this, trying to find the line. And
Yeah.
I remember just being in the car doing this and going, I think eventually this will get fixed.
Yeah. 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 I think so. And I think that's what's nice about it is, for example, like a lot of folks right now that use FSD or that haven't heard of FSD, the word of mouth right now is Tesla, Tesla owners that used FSD back in the day, 3 years ago, whatever.
And
They'll,
that's such a long time ago now.
it's such a long time ago from a development standpoint. And they'll say something to the effect of, oh yeah, I tried it once and it was terrible. And then they'll use that kind of anecdotal evidence as like a be all end all. It's like, oh, I tried it once and it sucks, so I'm never going to use it
I
again.
never
It's like,
tried.
dude, yeah. And I
Those
think,
are the worst.
yeah, especially the ones that never tried it. And they're like, oh yeah, my friend said he tried it and he said it sucked that one time he tried it and I'm never going to use it, And I think the problem is most folks, you know, I just, again, it comes back to like education, like being educated on how technology just continues to improve. And I think most folks think once you buy a Tesla and you buy it with whatever FSD capability it has, like that's all you have forever, you know? And it's like, no, it literally has over the air software updates that continues to improve your overall experience. Whether it's just using the car, driving the car, or the car driving itself. Yeah, and I feel like I can understand why Nick Gibbs is, you know, banging the drum so hard on this is, hey,
He's been wild about it. I think
yeah,
having kids have like almost traumatized him on like
it,
the Tesla stuff, and he's like,
it
no,
absolutely
it needs to
does.
happen now. It has to happen now. And like
Yeah.
watching him freak out is like almost how I feel, but it's only in here. It's not like
Yeah.
outwardly. Like I definitely
Yeah.
feel the way he feels. And I think when I bought the first car, I bought my wife a car. I bought my wife the first Tesla because of safety. Like I had like a almost like a crisis in my brain. Like my wife needs to be in the most safest car possible when she commutes to work.
Yeah.
And that went from how amazing that is to the point where my wife felt the same way about me, even though my commute is so little. She was like, my husband now needs to have the safest car possible, even though his commute is so small. Like, there is no point in not being in a Tesla after you've driven one and you know how safe it is. And especially when she started using FSD and it got really good to the point where she said, like, it saved my life multiple times already. Like, I've seen it save my life. I could not have seen that car coming or whatever
Hmm.
and or stop at the time that it stopped, and that's why she had her own crisis of getting me a Tesla, and
Yeah.
that's how I ended up with two of them. At first it was just like, I'll buy one, make sure it has FSD for the future so that way it would drive around and make me money and make sure that my wife's safe. And then
Yeah.
it became a spiral. And at this point, I truly feel like I will never let go of these cars, and I want more of them.
Yeah. Once you go Tesla, you can't go back. And that's what you know, and I feel like unfortunately my wife hasn't come around to that point yet where, and it just sucks that we have had, even with the latest version of FSD, we have had some instances where it does what it shouldn't, and it seems to always happen when my wife is in the car, which is what I
Oh
hate.
no.
Like when it's just me in the car, it's like flawless. I have this weird theory, this weird dummy theory where I'm like, is it because of the weight fluctuation of the car, where if it's just me, FSD kind of like is accustomed to just having like one driver, like one person in the car as it's being trained, or
It's an
whatever,
interesting thought.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
for the most part, the maneuvers that it makes, it's mostly based off of the weight of, call it, you know, 180 pound, 175 pound person, 175 pound person in the car, as opposed to like having the whole family or having a total weight of, call it, you know, 350 pounds in the car with like wife and kids and everybody, you know?
Hmm.
And because it seems like when my wife is in the car and we have both kids in the back, FSD is just a little bit like, it just feels different. You know, like when it's just me, it feels silky smooth, but with my wife and the kids in the car, and if it's me and the kids, I think because the kids really don't weigh that much, it's still pretty silky smooth. But with my wife and the kids, and then we put all our luggage in the back with the diaper bags and all that crap, and the you know, the wagon, then maybe there's a little bit more weight, and so maybe FSD is going to perform a little differently. You know. So
Hmm.
anyway, that's my dummy thought.
Do think that's an interesting thought, and the reason I think that's an interesting thought because we've had these conversations a few times, and I've always felt that I'm on version 12, and
Yeah.
like because I have hardware 3, so I feel like it's amazing. I don't have an issue. I've hardly had issues unless like the sun is in like the camera's eyes or whatever. I do feel like my nieces, nephews, stuff, they've been in the car and I'll use FSD and I have no issue like whatsoever. So I don't know why like my experience is different from yours. So I do think that's an interesting thing. Every time I feel like we've had this conversation, I feel that you said it's almost there, and then I feel like it's there. It's done. Like
Yeah.
again, I think it depends on the experience maybe, but again, like my wife trusts it almost 100%,
Yeah.
and I do too. And I've gone on multiple road trips now without worrying about like if the car's doing its job or
Yeah.
like it'll miss an exit and big whoop, like it'll figure itself out, and then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It is
almost
interesting.
trust it. I trust it more in the city than I trust myself for sure.
Definitely in the city. I think in the city, it's like it's
The
flawless.
best.
It's more the freeways. I would say of maybe the handful of experiences I've had. I've had maybe 5 or 6. So it's not like a ton of bad experiences. It's 98% very positive experience. But the 4 to 5%, whatever. It's been more so, like you said, misses an exit, or there was one time where it really did some wonky stuff where it should have probably missed the exit, but it kind of like forced itself into the lane to kind of get off the exit. And it literally, I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't have done that, but you know, and I had it in like standard mode, I think it was. So it wasn't hurry. So I could see why in hurry mode it would really try to get in there, but from a standard
Yeah.
or chill mode, like it should just be like, okay, whatever, I'll just get the next exit. But it like forced itself in, even though the car behind wasn't allowing me. But then there was like an upcoming fork in the road, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? So anyway, that was kind of like the worst experience I had with FSD, and then the wife in the car. And this is 13.2.9 that I had this experience with.
Hmm.
So I'm like, man. So for me, I'm kind of banking on V14 being the
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 one.
one that kind of sets the record straight and be like, hey, you'll never have to drive again, which I kind of already feel that way. It's just more so convincing the wife, passing the wife test is the biggest thing,
Hmm.
right? That we're all
Hmm.
trying to do. And thankfully, it seems
Yeah.
like you got there even with hardware 3, which is great to hear. And so hopefully
Yeah.
on hardware 4, it's just a matter of maybe V14 and then we're off to the races.
Yeah. I can't wait for that, by the way. Like my nephew kept asking me, he goes, "So can you sleep in your car?" Well, it somehow, like maybe, but I
Yeah.
I don't think it's safe. I was like,
Yeah.
I trust it, but that doesn't mean you should not follow the rule that it tells you, like keep your eyes on the road.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
I do think Elon's compensation package is going to be amazing. I think that it's going to make people feel like Tesla's going to moon multiple times in the next 5 years.
I agree. What do you think happens? And obviously, none of what we say here is financial advice. But what do you think happens to the stock as soon as like it hits the street? That hey, here are the new tranches. 50 trillion is the kind of the end all be all market cap.
Perfect world, I believe it would shoot up to some crazy number like 450 or 500 in a perfect
Yeah.
world. And that's if they believe, right? But in the non-perfect world, I feel like the market doesn't even they didn't want Elon to have the money. Like the idea of other people outside of the company not wanting Elon to have that money is proof enough to say that I don't believe they believe that the tranches are a thing. They don't they never talked about it. It's like it never happened. They never said that it was impossible, but it happened anyways. So why is it
Mhm.
that I would hope that it's up like 10 to 20%, to be honest. That's my hope and dream for Tesla. But again, we don't live in a perfect world. I feel like there's been so many times where they'll say like deliveries were above expectations and the stock went down the next day. What the hell? It happened multiple quarters in a row, and I was just like, all right, then well, I don't know why it's going down. It makes no sense. But
Yeah.
I'm such a long-term holder, so it doesn't really matter. In my opinion, I think it might go up a little bit. I think it might go up, and the optimistic part of me is thinking it will go up 5 to 10%. And then if they really
Okay.
truly get it, then 10 to 20. Again, not financial advice, but I really I feel like the fact that they talked about the abundance thing this
Yeah.
today, it should again in a perfect world go up tomorrow.
Yeah. To try
Because
to get ahead
that's
of
a
it.
bold statement. That's a bold statement for a company to say, we are bringing you an abundance of money and economics for everyone.
Yeah.
That is our goal. And that by itself, what company's ever said that?
The thing is I feel like Wall Street doesn't know how to quantify that quite yet. You know what I mean? If you can quantify it, if you can actually put it on a spreadsheet, that's when yeah, you'll probably see a pickup in the stock. But I personally believe that even when this thing comes out, I don't think much is going to change. So for example, like the 2018 comp package that right now is in the courts, right? They had these, if anything, it's everybody says that this is kind of like an investor's kind of, yeah, probably an investor's sort of dream case scenario um for Tesla in that like they had tranches that were super massive, super far out there that everybody kind of thought there's no way that Elon kind of achieves this. And this is back when
Hmm.
Tesla was $1 billion company or whatever. So it's like,
Hmm.
hey, if you can get to, half a trillion or whatever it is, 500 billion market cap, you'll earn all this compensation. And so everybody thought there's no way, this is great. Let's approve this. It's just for a car company to achieve, a half a trillion dollar market cap. No way. So they signed off on it. They said, hey, the risk is relatively low for Tesla to have to pay this out. And
Hmm.
so, um, look where they are now. So and look where they are now because those milestones were achieved, because the P&L started reflecting those dollars. And I think the same thing will happen here, that even though Elon has a track record of achieving these gargantuan sort of milestones, I think the same thing here. They'll probably look at the tranches of, hey, 25, 30, $35 trillion market cap. No way you achieve that. We don't really care. Even if even if you do achieve it, it's probably like 20 years out, 30 years out, whatever, call us then, and then we'll actually maybe invest a little bit of money to, try to meet our annual targets or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm gonna care. So maybe there is a, small bump in the stock, but for the most part, I think it's going to be more of a nothing burger for the street. They'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah, but he's not going to achieve any of this over the next 12 months. And that's kind of what we care about. The next 12, maybe 24-ish months, we'll look out that far. But, if none of this is kind of materially being achieved in the next, foreseeable future, then we don't really care too much. So
What
I think that's
what peak trillions do you think is going to be in his compensation package?
like, what are the tranches or like, what is the
Like his
mass?
tranches? Like yeah.
So for sure, I think 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 25 trillion.
30 is like go long.
I was almost about to say 50 trill. I was almost
Oh,
about to say 50
okay.
trill.
I like that. I
Well,
like it.
well, in the sense of like, for example, I think we talked about it last time, and Sir Basher has continued to kind of bang this drum as well. But you think of the implications, and now he's using the term like capitalizing like certain aspects of things. So for example, way back in the day, people used to brew their own coffee, people used to kind of consume their own drinks, and then Starbucks came around and capitalized drinking coffee. Now you can have someone else make the coffee for you, you don't have to worry about it, you just pay a little, you know, 350 to $5 whatever, and then you're good to go. Coca-Cola, same
Mhm.
thing. Like you used to just drink water, whatever you could produce at home, juice. Now you can just purchase Coke, right? Yeah, exactly. Coke Zero nowadays. And so same thing with labor. It's like once you capitalize labor, that's the end all be all. That's kind of game set match. Like once you can capitalize labor, the potential profits on that is almost limitless, you know? And so
Yeah,
even said, you
it's a
can
rocket ship.
sandbag my numbers. Yeah, 100%. You can sandbag the numbers that he's put together all you want, like 10% of it it's achieved. And that's still like a $15 trillion market cap or something like that, you know? And then there's so many other elements that could potentially be achieved, you know, potentially like an app store for Optimus or something, kind of like what Apple does, where they take a 30% cut. You know, Tesla could take some sort of cut. And even if it's a smaller cut, like a 10%, 5% cut, like that's because of the volume, the sheer volume of the applications that Optimus can potentially have.
Same thing for the car,
You
by
know,
the way.
for the car, exactly. The entertainment, the services, all that stuff that could be in the car.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, it's like, dude, the opportunities are endless in the sense of what Tesla could potentially monetize. And so, you know, his numbers kind of stack up to like 150 trill over the course of the next 10 to 15 years. You know, I think he said 2035 technically, but still, you know, sandbag a little bit, give it another 5 years, you could be a potentially $100 trillion market cap by 2040, you know? And it's like, dude, what the heck?
How long was his like how long did he have for his compensation package last time? Do you remember?
The 2018 comp package, he
Yeah,
had 12 tranches. I don't know if they were time based though. They were
they were
more
just hit
like,
them,
yeah, just hit them.
which
So
is better, I think, because then
yeah,
you're not really acknowledging. Again, like you said, nothing's set in stone. You don't know something can be stated, but that doesn't mean it's gonna happen today. It can
exactly.
happen in a few years from now, and then boom, like everyone gets what they want.
And I think because of the fact that it's, we're literally dealing with, you know, Tesla creating the impossible. I don't think you want to time base that. You know, you kind
No,
of
no,
want
no.
to
Yeah,
roll it out the right way, the correct way, make sure that it's a banger kind of thing. And so you don't want to time base some of those tranches. You kind of just want to let Elon cook and do his things. I would imagine.
rip Apple for that because they are one of those companies that don't roll out something until they have it like perfected. And
Yeah,
I think they're iPhone like phones nowadays are not there's nothing new coming out, so it's not like a big thing. But I think that's how Tesla does it in their scenarios too. It's like until it's there, then they'll release it
yeah,
and show it to the public. But
yeah. And I think we're seeing that with Robotaxi, right? I think they're taking it super
and
slow,
Optimus,
and Optimus take it super slow. And once you actually achieve certain milestones internally of, hey, we got the safety, we got the regulatory approvals, all these different things, then we can go ahead and explode. But for now, you know, that's yet to be seen, and we'll see what opening it to the public actually kind of means this
Mhm,
month,
mhm.
supposedly, what Elon said
Yeah,
in X post. And so we'll see what that means. But you know, maybe that's just opening up to like non-influencers, you know, influencers or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
For me as an investor, like I don't really care. I think the fact that they're taking it slow, they're proving the technology works, and you know, we're not running into significant speed bumps
Issues.
already. I think that
Yeah,
that's a good sign, especially when you're trying to get regulatory approval, especially from a federal framework, and then considering now, and it seems, I don't know if maybe it's just because I don't follow Waymo in the past as much, but it seems like now because Waymo feels like there's a little bit of, you know, call it fire under their feet with Tesla coming for their lunch.
yep,
I feel like Waymo is kind of in the, at least I've seen more instances of them doing what you wouldn't want Robotaxi to do, like bumping into freaking trash trucks and fire trucks and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, I hope Waymo,
down.
and, and this could just be my observation, but I hope they're not trying to rush expansion just because Tesla's coming into the game as well. And then
Yeah,
potentially risking, you know, significant accidents or issues, you know, occurring, you know. And
yeah,
I posted this on X a few weeks ago where I kind of have some concerns that because of the issues that we're seeing on X with Waymo crashing into trucks and crashing into each other and all that stuff, I
mhm.
have the concern, you know, those that aren't as in tune with the technological development of autonomy,
Go.
particularly from a regulatory standpoint, yeah, those that actually manage approving and not approving regulations for these things, I'm concerned that that'll slow down even Tesla's progress in the sense
Yeah,
of they're like, well, Waymo's crashing all over the place. Waymo's been, you know, around for however many years. Supposedly they're pretty good, and they're still crashing. Like, what makes you different, you know? And so obviously it's going to come down to the data. Like we have billions of miles of driving data, and per every million miles there's only one accident, or per every 6 million miles there's one accident, or whatever it is, you know. So I think,
chart that chart that
yeah,
they released with all the expansions of Tesla and then Waymo in the last few years. I think you're right, but I think it's almost less. I think it's less scary only because of the fact that they already have so much leeway in Texas and so much
Yeah.
space capture in California already, that I
Yep.
think maybe if there is some situation where Waymo does mess up, like something crazy happening with Waymo, it would suck. But at the end of the day, I think that Tesla's already showing like, look, we already cover more space than Waymo. Like, and
Yeah.
it's only been what, 2-3 months.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. What was the
So
math? Go ahead.
I saw the charts. I just saw the
Yeah.
charts and like some people doing like a video, and I thought it was just so interesting to watch Waymo grow, and then Tesla out of nowhere just boop, and just
Yeah.
completely dust them in like 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I forget who posted it, but I think it was oh gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Anyway, they did it was like an interactive kind of chart, right? You could actually see it move where it compares versus Waymo. James Stevenson, that's who it was that
Yeah.
posted that. And I think that was James Stevenson. Yeah, pulling it up here. I'm
Again,
gonna try.
it's wild. It's wild to think that it happened over the 2 months, and then what we've already talked about how it can just explode by the end of the year, and how Elon wants half the U.S. to be able to access robotaxi. But Waymo is scared. Like, I do think that they're fearful of Tesla just coming in and like going into every single area that they have their cars and just blowing up. Oh, I like this, by the way. We should do this more
Yeah.
often.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that I'm actually in my office. I can actually
Yeah.
do this. But let me see. How does it look? Does it look good? Yeah, it looks good. So yeah, this is what you were talking about here. Let me turn off the sound. I don't know if it'll show on your end, but I think this is the chart you were talking about.
It looks good, by the way. It looks good for especially
Yeah.
since
Okay. Cool.
yeah, it looks good.
So basically, it's like Waymo. Tesla first launched its robotaxi service 2 months ago. Waymo launched theirs nearly 5 years ago. Let's compare their service areas. Yeah, that's and he posted
Slow and
this
steady.
a few days ago. Slow and steady
Yeah.
for Waymo, but then Tesla is like killing it. Like it's already 940 square miles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the thing is I appreciate definitely the expansion in the square miles. For me, what's really going to kind of hit it out of the park is how many vehicles do they have in the fleet, and then secondly, when do you take out the safety monitor, which probably won't be until maybe next year. But once you get to that point, I think that's when all bets are off, and I think it's a no brainer to kind of know, hey, from a scaling standpoint, there's no limits. Like Tesla can already pump out a couple million vehicles a year. If half of that, call it 1 million, goes to the robotaxi fleet, here's the cost per mile. Here's how much they could kind of generate in revenue per car, and here's kind of the multiple we apply to that. And so that's kind of the new kind of baseline market cap, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Yeah. I think that was a good post to kind of culminate the convo here. I know you gotta get here shortly, but
No,
so,
I think we hit everything that we wanted to talk about that really mattered.
Yeah. And I liked how we kind of really got, theoretical and kind of even philosophical there too, is considering what lies ahead now that we're on the cusp of knowing what's in Elon's compensation package. We'll see the tranches. The 2018 one was about 12-ish tranches, I believe it was. So I imagine maybe something similar. Was it?
Yeah,
it was 12 tranches. So I imagine something similar for this new package. And then instead of 50 to 600 billion, maybe it's 50 trillion to 150 trillion or something like that. Something crazy, but it's gonna be gnarly, man. It's gonna be
an interesting show to watch.
Yeah. So I imagine, I think Alexander Mertz said, doing a little bit of reverse engineering, considering that the shareholder meeting is November 6th. So, you kind of want to send out the proxy early enough for people to kind of submit their voting and all that stuff. So supposedly like mid-September-ish is when we should see the proxy come out. So hopefully by then we actually get details on Elon's package.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait. I can't wait to have that conversation. I think on one of the next videos we should simulate like 12 tranches and be like, look, these are the 12 tranches that we believe are going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you do your version, I'll do mine, and then we can be like, okay, this is what I think, this is what you think, and like I think that'll be a very interesting, again, just brain teaser about the future of Tesla.
Yeah. No, let's do it. I think it'll be a fun exercise too, because it's like the sky's the limit, right?
Yeah.
It really is.
It's scary.
It's kind of weird to think about. So yeah, let's do that. Let's kind of just have fun with trying to visualize, kind of similar to like the Apple events. Everybody tries to speculate, oh, what's the new phone that's going to come out, or the new features.
Exactly.
We'll try to speculate, all right, what are the new tranches that are coming out for Elon and whatever his objectives are. So that'll be cool.
All right, man.
Cool, man. Well, it was good chatting. I feel like it even though we've been consistent with doing it weekly, I feel like it's been a long time since we last spoke, maybe because it's been a long weekend or something. But yeah,
that and all the news, I think that the news coming out, and it does feel like a while. Happy Tesla Labor Day.
Yeah, definitely. This is day 0 of disrupting labor for all of mankind going forward. It'll be crazy. Maybe at some point there probably won't be a Labor Day because none of us will be laboring. It'll be all AI. So we'll see.
Some people get scared by that.
I know. Hopefully, hey, but their master plan is sustainable abundance. So if they can execute on that, then most of us don't have to worry about having to earn a paycheck if all our needs are being provided for. So
not financial advice. never
Yep.
financial advice. We're just two
Yes.
crazy people talking about Tesla.
Yeah. There's just too much crazy things to talk about. So
Later,
cool,
man.
man. Hey, well, have a good rest of your night.
You too, bro.
Thanks.
I'll see you Monday. Hopefully something comes up this week. Maybe another
Yes. Yeah.
expansion.
Yeah. Another expansion will be, well, I guess the next one will be supposedly they've been expanding every 3 weeks. So
Yeah, yeah.
another 2-ish weeks would be the next one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be exciting. Hopefully more
All right.
expansion here in Cali, San Diego.
Yes.
We're still on the list.
I'm hoping that just, just open it up.
Yep. So cool, man. All right. Well, I'll talk to you on the next
Later.
one. See ya.
See ya.